Port-au-Prince is Haiti's capital in all respects, not only in transportation or in trade. The imposing twin-towered Notre Dame Cathedral there is the spiritual center for most of the citizens. The impressive National Palace, where the president lives, represents political authority. Structures of more than one story are uncommon, but each is its owner's castle. It is the house of a free man. In that concept, let us overlook the rude construction, the lack of facilities that we have come to regard as our everyday conveniences. For these people have something infinitely more precious than material wealth. In a world that is battling the last stand of despotism, these citizens of Haiti, like us, are blessed with liberty.
One of the poverties, too, is poverty of concept, you know, poverty of concept. And we look at something, and we think of something, and the poor person looks at it and thinks of it as something else. So, to give an example, in a container that came recently, of all the things that came, there was a little red wagon. So, I look at the little red wagon and I think, that'll be a fun toy for the kids up on the second floor of our hospital. And our team, who has never seen a little red wagon before, Fito in particular, said, look, somebody sent us a wagon to bring the children from the hospital who died to the crematorium. Isn't that nice? My God. And Fito was so proud of that red wagon because he's the one that runs the crematorium. And no idea of the real use of a little red wagon, that it's supposed to be a toy and a joy for a child. Fully convinced, from lack of any other experience, here especially, that it's a hearse. So the very next day, there was a child for cremation, and the very first ride that child ever had in a red wagon, and the very last ride that that child ever had in a red wagon, was to go from our hospital morgue to the crematorium.
So we have an entrance here. Mm-hmm. Maybe an entrance here, and we can run plywood up here. Or we have this.
That's filled in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Bryn from Artists for Peace and Justice, and I live and work in Port-au-Prince, Haiti with Father Rick Frechette at St. Damien's Hospital.
So if you can think of it this way, and then you'll run plywood the same way around all the sides of it.
Like entrance, exit.
Mm-hmm. I'll put here a marquee, and then on the side, you should be running it the same way. If you have the entrance here, then everybody from the village here should be able to see it's a movie theater, so the marquee and everything is facing out this way.
We passed by this tent city, and up on the hill was this little shanty structure with 4 poles in the ground and some tarp over it. And we walked up, and we knew right away this could be the perfect place. Raphael picked up a roll of 35mm film that had been exposed and was old and ragged, and it was right there on the ground. And so Dave and I looked at each other and said, that's it. This is a sign. This is where our movie theater is going to go. We got to do this.
Notre idée, c'est en vendredi, cette semaine, vendredi, nous avons une petite fête Le bâtiment c'est fini. Vous avez une petite fête dans la journée, dans la nuit nous faisons une belle film. C'est bon mon gars? C'est possible commence maintenant?
Yes.
Oui?
My name is Raphael Louigene. I work for Father Rick Frechette. So my family living there. I go up and Cité Soleil. It's a bad place. It's a dangerous place to go up. It's my turn house. It's my turn house. It's my mama house. Hey, look, it's my family, it's my turn. When I was a kid, I go in cine to see the movie. Now, it's crashed. My idea right now, I want to build movie there in Haiti again. When you're gonna do something, do it quickly. Not okay, tomorrow, after tomorrow, and this month, after this month. Now you tell you're gonna do it, the people gonna be happy, you do it quickly. You start, when you come, you start.
Raphael had this idea to build a movie theater in a tent city. And he came to Bryn and me and he said, guys, I really want to do this. And we loved the idea and we got behind it straight away and we just went for it.
I think you can do it in 4 days, you know. I think you can do it in 4 days.
That's real fast.
Really fast, yeah.
In the process of working with Raphael, I got to know him really well. And one day he came to me and he goes, hey Dave, on Thursday, I'd really like you to come to the morgue with me. I was like, the morgue? Are you serious? It sounds really creepy. And he goes, no man, this is something we do every week. We go downtown and we bury the unclaimed dead.
We have never been far from death in this country from the very day that we landed.
Every Thursday I go in the morgue. Sometimes somebody shoot somebody and somebody kill someone in the town and nobody come to take care of the dead body in the morgue. You know, the morgue is small, it's not too big. Only one morgue for the big city in the capital. Yeah, they did not get a bit because before they put like the government put like 100 together, put the one grave. Like the garbage, they put in the big truck together and put that one in the grave.
So we decided to start doing what we can for the dead in the city morgue. It must be one of the hardest jobs you could possibly have to do, is to see those kinds of things and handle remains like that and try to do the right thing. First, we responded the right way, slowly, to the dead of our hospital. Then we responded to the dead we were finding all over the streets and everywhere else by bringing them to the morgue. It was as if I heard all of those people who were once in those bodies say, what about us?
It's an extraordinary experience to see the community get together and help out, and all the guys do that work because it's hard work. And the first time I went, I remember being initially taken aback by all of the dancing and the singing. And there's rum being drank, and everybody's smoking to mask the smell. Then as I joined in, I realized that it's the only way that you can approach that job, you can approach that situation, because if you start to wallow in the sorrow of it, and to see this sight, there's the most terrible thing I've ever seen in my life. And the most terrible experience I've ever experienced is just being inside that morgue. And if it gets in you, you're crushed, you're ruined. It's a lot of, like Haiti's like that. If you let the devastation and the destruction get under your skin and not push it out with strength and joy and music and laughter, then it'll destroy you.
We sing religious songs. We bring them respectfully to their graves. We pray as they are buried. We change their circumstance from being in the morning on a pile of rotting colleagues to in the afternoon being in a beautiful wild garden at the side of the sea, which hands down is a better place to wait the last days than where they were in the morning. May the Lord be your guard and your shade, now that the shadows have lengthened, the evening has come. The busy world is hushed, the fever of life is over, and your work on earth is done.
We have a lot of experience with construction, and I have the perfect guy on staff who I assigned the job. His name's James. He's this big, burly guy. He's an ex-Army guy. He lived for this kind of job. And as soon as I said, hey man, do you want to build a movie theater? He was like, yeah! You know, and he jumped at it and just worked like an ox every single day to get this thing done. James, what's up?
Not much, I'm just hungry and haven't eaten anything. I'm kind of hungry and need some food.
Okay, Big Papa, we'll get you some food. He's always hungry.
Something that ain't gonna give me the shits would be really nice.
And then did another two like this. Put these ones on the top, and then
Those
these
are the
ones.
same.
Yeah, but the problem is, do we want to keep it with the white bulbs, or like look at these ones? This is the bulb, right?
Now you gotta go classic.
So what is the classic?
Just white, like that.
Really?
Yeah.
How long will it be until these get stolen?
Oh! See what I'm saying?
Okay. Do you like it? Okay. Let's do it.
I mean, that's the classic bulb. That's the classic movie bulb. Now you're just being crazy. You know, now you're just wasting time.
From there. So
This light's good. No. We've got to get out of here right now because there's lightning all around us and it's about to pour with rain. Kind of a bummer because we were hoping to go through the night, but now we're on our way back to the warehouse now to just do roof trusses inside and try and get out of here before someone gets hit by lightning. All right.
We're tired, exhausted. It's raining. It's a huge setback. Premiere's on Friday, and we currently have 6 sticks sticking up in the ground, and that doesn't look like a movie theater at all. So it's a bit of a bummer.
Life in Haiti was hard before the earthquake, and the earthquake has just magnified all of the difficulties. You have 1.5 million people living in tents. There is nothing normal about the way that they're living. I'm David Bello. I'm a filmmaker from New York, and I've been living and working in Haiti for 18 years, and we started Haiti's only film school, Cine Institute, based in Jacmel. The goal of Cine Institute is to empower these very talented Haitian youth, teach them how to use cameras and computers, and have them go out and tell their own stories and get jobs producing commercials and documentaries and feature films. There was this wonderful tradition of movie theaters here, and because of decades of violence and instability, most of them, if not all of them, have gone out of business. And certainly the few that were still in business prior to the earthquake, I think that they're all closed now because of the damage.
The snake's lair. Oh.
Snake! Yeah.
Snake. Oh, maman. Comment y est? Connais yé.
Okay, thanks. Madame, ça va? Papa? Snake!
We wanted to make our movie theater look as much like a movie theater as possible, you know, so the first thing we thought was we needed a marquee. We took care of that. And then we thought, well, we need some movie posters. And you can't find any movie posters for sale here. But on every single building and every side of a bus and a car is painted these incredible paintings from local artists. And at the bottom is the artist's name and his number. We found Snake, yay. And called him up and showed him the pictures, and he said, yeah, I can do these movie posters. And we took Casablanca and Jaws and Back to the Future, sort of the most iconic movie posters we could find. He said, yeah, I'll do it in 3 days, come back in 3 days. And Dave and I and Raphael were laughing like, oh, this is gonna be extraordinary, and I can't wait to find out what this guy can make. And we picked them up, and they were beautiful. They were incredible. You know, they looked exactly like the movie posters, but with a little bit of flair. He really came through, and it was amazing. And I'll never judge an artist by their barbershop paintings again.
It's really a beautiful thing that in a tent city now so representative of the way of life for so many people, that are really fun and enthusiastic activity like theater could be realized there in such a short time, to try to infuse even these new slums in a way with culture and with entertainment and with fun. So it's really, really important.
Their lives have been turned upside down. There, is national trauma on a scale of just unimaginable. People who've lost, half of their family and friends and everything that they owned, what little they owned. And entertainment and distraction is more important than ever. If the Haitian people can continue to withstand these terrible conditions and the lack of progress, the one thing that can help them at the end of the day is some laughter and some dreams, some hope. And movies are such a wonderful way of doing that, right? The magic of the screen. It's critical that there's a revival of cinema here and cinema culture, and the only way that can happen is through starting to rebuild theaters and community centers.
friend Raphael, his dream, always his dream, was to build a theater. And this is the first theater built after the earthquake in this tent camp, and it's a really exciting day. And it opens tonight, and the premiere movie is The Mummy.
Almost nothing that happens around you can dominate you. We say the light that shines in the darkness tries to oppress it and cover it, but it can't. It can come pretty close to dimming it, and it may not always look like a searchlight, but it can't be dimmed. And for sure, the spirit of the Haitian people represents that light. It's almost impossible to crush the people from the point of view of hope and faith and love of life.